Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Lexi Thierry, and my hope today is that if you've ever asked yourself the question, I wanna live a low toxic life, I wanna switch my products, where do I start? I wanna answer that question for you today. Before I answer that question, I want to rewind just a little bit and tell you about why I live this lifestyle. I'm not gonna go super deep because that could be a whole separate video that I plan on making. Basically, I have had chronic health issues the past 9 years and it has gone undiagnosed. I've gotten answers that are just like, we don't know what's wrong with you. Answers that are, well, we just think you have IBS, so do this, try this diet. And I never got a concrete like, this is why you are sick all the time. This is why you have chronic fatigue, you have hormone issues, you have gut issues. I knew that there had to be a root cause, so I just didn't stop fighting for it. But a couple years into my journey of trying to figure out what's wrong with my body, I had a friend suggested, like, if you have tried everything, at this point, something that you haven't tried is changing your products in your house, changing what you use on your body. Honestly, the thought of switching my products, the number one thing that came to my brain was, that's too much money. That is something that I cannot afford to do. I'm already spending all of this money in testing and lab work, and I wasn't getting answers. So I was like, all right, you know what? If nothing else comes of this, at least I know that I am honoring my body by putting products on it or using things around my family, my environment that are stewarding my body. And I started researching the things that are in my products. I started researching what they can do to my body, what symptoms that I'm having, can they align with the products that I'm using, the chemical that's in this, the paraben that's in this, the phthalate that's in this, the synthetic fragrance that's in this. And there were just dots that started to connect and connect and connect. So I decided to start on this non-toxic journey, and I started one product at a time because that was what we had to do. And that is my suggestion for everyone. I'll get into that in a second, but I switched one product at a time, like very slowly over time. And my personality is like, okay, no, I just wanna throw everything out. I wanna get rid of all of it. I wanna get all new products, but that is not realistic. That's not sustainable. That's not doable for my family, our budget, everything. It's not doable. And so we did one product at a time. And one of the things that had stopped me for a while, or not necessarily stopped me, but made me hesitant for a while, is getting my husband on board with this. Because honestly, like I said, we had tried everything else to try to figure out what's wrong with me, to help ease my symptoms, to make me feel better even a little bit. And so it seemed like there was this giant question mark on, like, are the products that I'm using actually harming me? Are they actually related to the symptoms that I'm feeling? And I just chalked it up to now, like, what you don't know, you don't know. If you've never taken a bottle of your shampoo and looked at the ingredients, researched the ingredients and the effect that they can have on your body, you don't know. So you're not necessarily connecting those things together. So it was a little bit more difficult for my husband because he doesn't feel the pain that I feel. He doesn't have the chronic illness that I have, the chronic fatigue. He doesn't have those things. So switching all of my family's products was kind of like a little bit overwhelming. So if you are sitting here watching this video and you're like, one of the reasons that I am not switching my products is because I don't think my husband will be on board with this non-toxic lifestyle. He sees dollar signs, or maybe you see dollar signs. I get that so much. So that is the reason why I say go slow. Come closer, okay? Come closer. Go slow. This is not only going to make it realistic and sustainable for you, but it's also going to help your husband not lose his mind. I'm now almost 4 years into my non-toxic lifestyle, and I am not 100% non-toxic. I will never claim to be. I will never say every single product in my house is toxin-free. Not the case. There are still products in my home that we have from 3-4 years ago that we are using through, that we are going through, using all of it, or there's products in my home that I just have not found a suitable swap for that works for me, that works for Craig, and I'm still in the process of that. I would say I live a 98% non-toxic life. One of the things that I have yet to swap is mascara. Everybody has given me suggestions on different types of mascara to try, and none of them have worked for me. My eyelashes, I just am convinced that they only work with specific textures of mascara. I don't know, that's just a myth of mine, but I have yet to find one. So I still use a mascara from Amazon. There are times when, like for example, our shower got clogged and we used Drano. Like, that is not something that I would normally run to. I wouldn't go to the store and grab it, but we had Drano under our sink, so I used Drano in our bathtub. If you go out into society, they're not using non-toxic products, most likely. I can't really think of a place like a store or a restaurant that's using non-toxic cleaning products. You can't avoid it altogether, but what you can do is control what's going on in your home and the environment that you want to create in your home. And so that has been really empowering to me, because since I've gone through this whole journey of illness and sickness and chronic undiagnosed pain and all of the things, it's so important for me to protect my family's health. And now that I know what's in my products, now that I know how it can affect my body, I can't unknow that. I can't know differently. I can't go back to the old way that I was living, because it makes so much sense to me, and I have seen in my own life, in my own body, the benefit of changing my lifestyle. And this is not just me saying like, yeah, like I wake up with a little bit more energy. This is actually blood work that I have got done that says my body in the toxic load is significantly decreased to the point where I have a very low level of like toxicity in my body based on my test results, my hair analysis results, which is insane, because if you would have asked me 4 years ago, if I would have done this test 4 years ago, the levels of toxins in my body, the levels of heavy metals in my body would have been probably borderline dangerous. My body cannot detox from toxins or heavy metals properly. So it is imperative that the lifestyle that I live allows my body to not have such a toxic burden on it. That means eliminating things in my life that I can control, such as the products that I'm using, and like steward my body in that way, if that makes sense. So that is not the case for everyone. If you're a person who doesn't have difficulty detoxing, the very first thing that I wanna say, and how do you get started, is find your why. You just heard my why. That is what drives me every day. That is where my motivation comes from. It comes from like my health, but goes beyond that. And now I have a son, I have a baby who, like, it is my job to protect him as much as I can and steward his body, steward his health. And I look at him as this like vulnerable, pure little human. And if I can prevent things in his life that I had to walk through in terms of health, I wanna do that. I wanna raise him up in an environment where the products that he's using, the products that I'm using around him are doing good for his body. That's my why. Find your why. And the reason that I think that it's important to have a why is because like your sister-in-law can be living a non-toxic lifestyle and you just really admire her and you wanna live that way too. You wanna start using some of the products that she's using. You like the way that they smell or whatever. Totally fine. I just think personally that knowing more about the reason behind why the products are not doing good things for your body is like even more of a motivator, because sometimes that's like the push that you need to start switching one product at a time. Or that's the thing that you need to show your husband or your family, whoever, and say like, hey, what if we just like tried switching this one product one at a time, or even just this one product, and just see what happens. If nothing else, we're just doing well for our family. Second thing is don't do it all at once. I've already said that and I'm gonna keep hammering it into you, because do not do it all at once. That is something that I don't know why, like when we have this, well, I do know why. When we get this new information, and it's not necessarily new information, it's just coming more to the surface, which is amazing. I'm so grateful for that. But when we get this new information, I think that sometimes it can induce fear into us, where we say, oh my gosh, like everything in my household is toxic, or everything in my household is it the reason that I have this thing, and it just causes fear. And I never want anything that I share to cause fear in you. And I never, ever want anything that I share to make you feel guilty about the choices that you have made, because you don't know what you don't know. And even if you're watching this video and you watch all the way to the end and you're like, I am still not gonna switch, that is fine. This is just what I hope can be a resource for if you ever get to the point where you're like, let me just try it. Let me just, one product at a time, let me try this one that she recommended. Let me see if the fabric softener that I'm using is causing the allergies in my home. Or let me see if switching the laundry detergent helps my child's eczema. Or let me see if the shower products that I'm using, if I switch those, if my cystic acne clears up. I hope that is the motivation that you feel behind this, and it never, ever is to instill fear or guilt, because that is not helpful. That's not encouraging, and that is not like a sustainable mindset into going into this. It should be empowering and exciting and feel like brand new, like a new start. So the first recommendation that I would give you on what products to swap is whatever you're about to run out of. Easiest, simplest way to switch a product. For example, if you're about to run out of toothpaste, if you're squeezing the tube as much as you can squeeze it and there's nothing else coming out, switch your toothpaste. Or if you are about to run out of face wash, switch your face wash. If you're about to run out of laundry detergent, switch your laundry detergent. If you're about to run out of fabric softener, don't buy another fabric softener. Use wool dryer balls instead. Anytime someone comes to me on Instagram and they're like, Lexi, I'm really encouraged by what you're sharing. You've motivated me, or other accounts have motivated me to start switching my products. What products do you recommend? Instead of recommending a specific product, I recommend going through your house, seeing what you are about to run out of, and make a list of those things that you're about to run out of and prioritize one of them for the first month. That way you can take it to your husband and get a price match and put the price side by side of what the product that you were buying is in price related to the product that you want to buy, and just let him know. Budget for it, and there you go. Another thing that I have suggested to people, if they're not necessarily about to run out of product, but they want to just like try something different, I say switch something that you use every day, something that you're going to get the most use out of. Like if you use foundation once a month, don't switch your foundation, because that's not going to be the most bang for your buck. The question you might be asking yourself is, how do I know what products are non-toxic, truly non-toxic? I'm gonna give you some really awesome accounts to follow, which have helped me find some of my non-toxic products. They're very great resources. But I do want to let you know that like something can be called non-toxic and it not actually be non-toxic, which kind of like is really frustrating. And you're like, well, then how do I truly know? There's something that's called greenwashing, and the definition of greenwashing is disinformation disseminated by an organization so as to present an environmentally responsible public image. It's a process of conveying a false impression or providing misleading information about how a company's products are environmentally sound. It's a play on the term whitewashing, which means using misleading information to gloss over bad behavior. I would in the past recommend to you an app called Think Dirty. This app was in the past something that I use all the time. Every time I went to the grocery store, I would use the Think Dirty app, scan a product, and it would tell me on a number scale how dirty this product is. I can no longer recommend that to you because Think Dirty was bought out and is no longer, can be said it's no longer 100% accurate information. I just found this out. One way you can tell if a product is truly non-toxic or low in toxins is they have an EWG certification. The EWG, this is on their website, says most products on the market today are made with chemicals that are introduced several decades ago. Since then, scientists have found that many of these chemicals are related to cancer, asthma, birth defects, and fertility problems. Some of these chemicals are in products we use every day, our shampoo, our soap, our furniture, our mattresses. In many cases, manufacturers don't even have to list their ingredients on their packages or websites, so there's no way for you to know what's really working. EWG was started to drive companies to create healthier, safer products. We know that there are companies that are concerned about the rising cancer rates or about fertility changes becoming increasingly common. EWG Verified recognizes products that meet EWG's strict standards for your health. This means none of EWG's chemicals of concern. This means full transparency. This means a mark you can trust. It means EWG approved. One of these companies that is EWG approved is Branch Basics. I have heard people rave about Branch Basics. I never have personally tried Branch Basics, but that is just one example of something that you can see on a website that you can trust. That seal, that indication, that verification is something that you can trust. Another thing that you can look for is full transparency in where these products are sourced, where the ingredients come from. A lot of companies on their websites, they will say it's sourced from local farms or somewhere in the US, or exactly where it comes from, and you can trace all of that information back, and that I found is super helpful also. Some accounts that I suggest that you follow, which are going to be super helpful in helping you recognize what products are misleading, what products say that they are the best and are not actually the best. One of these is an IG account called I Read Labels For You. Her account is like revolutionary in my opinion. I feel like everyone should be following her because her information is so helpful. It's scientific, it's very real, it's very transparent, and she gives you so many good options, and a lot of the products that I buy are from her recommendation. Another question you might be asking yourself right now is, I'm a fairly healthy person. Why is there a need for me to switch my products to non-toxic products? I get that because that's kind of where my husband is. That's kind of where a lot of people I feel like are. I would suggest that you ask yourself, are you truly a healthy person? Do you have sleep issues? Do you have acne issues? Do you have really hard, harsh periods? Do you have skin problems? Do you have anxiety problems? I'm not saying in any way that changing your products, changing your lifestyle is going to solve all of your problems. Not saying that at all. But what if it helped cleared up one thing for you? What if it helped change one thing in your life? Or what if it helped change one thing in your family's life? That to me, I think is worth it. Now, really quickly, I wanna share with you my top non-toxic swaps. The first one being a shampoo bar. Not only is this non-toxic, but it's also eco-friendly and sustainable. I get my shampoo bar from a small business called Alchemy and Clay Soap. She is amazing. She creates the most amazing products. I've referred tons of people to her, and I have not heard a single person who has bought one of her shampoo bars say they don't love it. Next is toothpaste. I cannot stand the taste of Crest or of whatever other types of toothpaste is like super popular. I have tried several different brands of toothpaste. Currently, right now, I'm using the toothpaste Thieves from Young Living. I was using the brand David's, I think is what it's called. It's in like a metal tube. There are a lot of great toothpaste out there, but personally, my favorite so far is the one from Young Living. Next is deodorant. This is something that I have to caution you on because when you switch deodorants from one that is not non-toxic to one that is non-toxic, your body is gonna go through a detox stage and your pits are gonna be stanky. So something that I recommend you do is a pit detox in between your transition. All that is you take some green clay, I get mine off Amazon, apple cider vinegar, equal parts, put it on your pits for 15 minutes, wash it off. Helps detox your body, and then you can use whatever deodorant that you want. I was using Native, love it, but I have heard a lot of people say that over time using Native, it can make you smell a little bit ish. I found that to be true with me. I still love Native. I will probably go back to it in the future, but I've switched my deodorant to Earth Mama, and I love this one. Actually, on that I Read Labels For You account, Earth Mama deodorant is in the best category in deodorants that she shares. And the last one is laundry detergent. Our laundry detergents that you can buy on the shelf at Kroger or Walmart are some of the most toxic products that we are using in our household. I use the laundry soap from Young Living. I love it. It lasts me so long. I dilute it. It comes in a container. It's ultra concentrated, so I dilute it with water and baking soda, some essential oils, and it lasts a while. I love it. I have never had an issue with it. probably will never switch to another laundry detergent. So hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. If you guys have any other questions specifically, please comment them down below. I am no expert in all of this. I do not claim to be. I am still learning, and I'm always going to be learning, but I just hope that maybe this gives you the extra push, the extra encouragement to maybe just think about switching one product in your home and see how it works for your family. So if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Remember to love God, love yourself, and love people. Bye.